Yeah, it really is the metaphors and examples that you get. Because otherwise, if someone was writing like I was thinking people write books about fantasy novels describing like, what is this book about? Right? And you can't do that unless there's examples in the book to write about and to point to and be like, a billionaire is this guy or whatever, and then you're looking at that guy, you're not looking at just the definition.
What's kind of neat too is for something to be a billionaire, first you have to, or like a philanthropist or any of those things, a playboy, that thing exists and then we have a word for it. It doesn't go the other way. So you can't be like, a person is, or a story or something is like talking about these things and define them without the story being there first. Mm-hmm. Like you have to have the thing, the symbol, and then it breaks down from there into like, oh, it's these types of archetypes or whatever. So the creativity of the art to create this symbol that represents stuff comes first. Like a Sherlock Holmes, like, a smart detective, whatever thing. Like if you wanted to describe what Sherlock Holmes is to somebody, you could just say Sherlock Holmes and most people kind of get it. Or like a vampire. Like you could describe what a vampire is, but when you say like Dracula or Frankenstein or a mummy or whatever it is, like something from a show that's one of those in that paranormal vibe, you get it because of the vibe, not because of the way you would define it if you were to talk about it. And that symbol came first of the what a vampire represents in whatever way it changes over time and transforms, and that's the thing about symbolism and language and stuff. It gradually shifts, but that comes first before we can define it as something, and then from there, any other symbols and archetypes of that form that show up, we now have other reference points, and it creates this like web of symbols that we can start to put definitions into it, and then we can talk about it. So you can't even talk about it until a thing is there. Otherwise, you're sitting there with just something that we do sometimes, and we've done with LV in the past, and like our stories of like trying to talk about something that doesn't exist yet, trying to figure it out.
Using a bunch of other examples to be like, this character is like these three mixed together. And say, well, okay, we know what those three are, so now we have some vague essence of what this third, new character is. Based on these previous ones who we know.
Part of this character, part of that character. Can you imagine this character without this? Like, can you imagine Captain Jack Sparrow, but he's a monk that's meditating and wants to be isolated and just hang out on his boat and meditate? It's like, Captain Jack Sparrow, but like this. And it's like, wait, what? to mix and match those is pretty complex until we see a symbol that perfectly represents it, but with enough symbols, because there are enough, we can actually point out three and be like, yeah, it's kind of a mash of that, and it works. Without all of them, we wouldn't even be able to have those three, because there'd be something missing, and it'd be impossible to talk about an archetype like that. But you can picture Captain Jack Sparrow, you can picture like meditative Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and you can kind of mash them together because those characters exist, and they're like pop culture references in a way. And it works.
And they have enough to them that you can see like, well, how would they relate and how would they exist? Because they're not just
the many ways they confuse
one symbol, or like one angle of a symbol. It's a whole character, a whole being.
One angle, because it's Aang.